Cheers! I'm Jen Mastel. Welcome to Beer Snobs. In this show, you'll hear the story of craft beer told to you from those who brew the beer and the loyal customers. Each episode will travel to all your favorite spots. Today, we're at Rapp Brewing Company, which is tucked into a small industrial park in Seminole, Florida. Greg Rapp established his microbrewery here in 2012 to bring the flavors of Germany to the Tampa Bay area. This is one of my favorite breweries because of the passion Greg and his daughter and bartender Candy share with their customers. Another reason I love coming here is to taste what German beers are meant to taste like, and that, fellow and future snobs, is delicious.
Larry, tell me what your favorite beer is here at Rapp.
The Irish Red.
And what's awesome about the Irish Red?
It's a great beer. I mean, I like the taste of it. It's good flavor.
Did you always drink craft beer, or were you introduced?
I was introduced.
And how did you get into it? Tell me a little bit.
A friend of mine, he introduced me to like Yingling and a couple other different beers, and then another friend of mine introduced me to Willards, and it's all downhill from there.
Excellent.
In 2 short years, Rapp Brewing has accumulated quite a few awards in the Tampa Bay area. Awards aside, all you have to do is take a look around the tasting room on a Sunday afternoon, and you know that these are some good beers.
When I asked Greg how to introduce people who don't necessarily like beer into craft beer, he said, go big. Start with a strong beer, something that has a lot of flavor that's not necessarily a beer flavor, and then work your way from there. Many different styles and flavors out there. There's a beer for everybody.
Of course, not everybody takes Greg's advice. Fellow beer snob Eric disagrees.
The fact that there's no outside entertainment, there's nobody watching football games, things like that. People are forced to actually interact with each other, sort of thing. Conversations about anything, locally, globally, talk about the beer, there's plenty of beer to talk about.
Right. What inspired you to start drinking craft beer?
Well, honestly, my oldest sister, right about when I was about college age, was here, try this. This is a porter sort of thing, because I was typically Miller Lite sort of BS, things like that. And I enjoyed whatever porter she had given me, and then anytime I had seen her on holidays, things like that, she would bring something new for me to try, growlers of things, mix and match cases, things like that. I just fell in love with not only the vast flavors, but honestly the variety of craft beer.
What would you recommend for somebody who doesn't like beer? How would you, because we've all had friends that don't like beer, how would you introduce them to craft beer?
Well, honestly, I would probably try to figure out what sort of other beverages they like. Do they prefer to drink apple juice all the time? Are they a water type of person, sort of thing? You could start light. It's great with places like this because you can have a sample of anything all day, sort of thing. Especially non-beer drinkers, I would start light. I historically prefer to start light, but coffee drinkers are easier to get into porters and stouts and things like that, honestly.
One of the
2 local favorites are the chocolate peanut butter stout and my favorite, Rapp's chocolate hazelnut porter.
Greg Rapp's daughter Candy, who bartends here on Sundays, she's always excited about what's coming on tap and what's being brewed. Talking to Greg, you'll find that he's very proud of his heritage, and it comes through in the beers. Many of the beers are German styled and traditional European brews, but he does cater to the American taste as well. I've already spoken with some of the customers earlier today who came here not wanting to drink beer, not liking beer, but found that they did like beer after tasting the different varieties. One of the customers I spoke with earlier today was telling me that he never liked beer until he came here and tried the chocolate peanut butter stout. Then he discovered, hey, craft beer's not so bad after all. So I'm here with Greg Rapp of Rapp Brewing, and I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with me. So what inspired you? What was your first love of beer?
Well, being German, I think they put beer in the beer bottle when I was a baby. So, but can't remember that far back. But being a European of European descent, we always had beer around, and was exposed to it at an early age.
What was your favorite beer that inspired you, or your favorite style of beer that inspired you to brew?
Yeah, the beer that really got me into brewing beer was Tampa Bay Brewing's Old Elephant Foot. I worked in IT, and every Friday my wife would stop by and we would drive over to Ybor, and couldn't wait to get me a nice Old Elephant Foot. And my wife, that was her favorite beer. And after a while, she's like, you know what, you ought to try to brew this, because I'd been making wine and mead and sake for years. She said, you ought to try brewing beer. She said, if you brew beer, I want you to brew an Old Elephant Foot. So got a kit, and I actually was fairly successful at brewing one.
Excellent. All right, so I love the chocolate hazelnut porter, and my husband, our cameraman, he loves the chocolate peanut butter stout. And coming from Michigan, I'm also U of M, he's a Spartan, so we live in a house divided ×2. So do you find that in other customers or in your own home even?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We get customers come in here, and the one spouse loves the sour beers. The other ones are totally into the hoppy beers. It's, you know, the nice thing is with the 20 beers we have on tap, we always have something for everybody. And you know, there's a lot of variety, and it's just kind of the way we do things here, is have a lot of different beers.
Why brew two beers they're very similar yet very distinct? So why?
Well, I brew the chocolate peanut butter stout is more of an American beer. People are associated with Reese's, again being European. I grew up on Nutella,
right?
So I said I really prefer, you know, chocolate hazelnut. So we decided to use our porter beer as a base and brew a chocolate hazelnut porter.
Very interesting. All right, so the first time I tried Rapp beers was back in 2012 at the IPA Fest at Dunedin Brewery. And the beer that stuck out in my mind was the OMG. I have never before and never since seen a beer that's over 20% ABV. What is that? A traditional European style? Is that something that you came up with? Is that? Tell me about that one.
Being an engineer at heart, at the time I was a home brewer when I brewed that. It was basically a challenge to myself to try to brew a beer as strong as possible. And so that one that you had, it was at the IPA Fest. It was the first time I brought it to a festival. And actually the person who named it is Bob Lorber. He's one of our local beer people.
Yes, he is.
So, I asked Bob to come over. I gave him a little poured him a little sample, and he took a sip and he goes, "Oh my God, what is this?" Like, he just named that beer for me.
Right.
But it's a real challenging beer to brew. I don't know if you would call it an imperial American barley wine, or I guess that'd be as close as you can.
So it's a style that's original to Rapp Brewing.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, there's other brewers that brew similar beers. Sam Adams brews Utopias.
Okay.
I've had several people compare it to Utopias. For us as a brewer, basic for us, it's a challenge to see how strong a beer that we possibly brew, and it's very, very intensive brew to make.
Yeah, I imagine. So you're expanding, as we can see here in the background, a little construction going on. What's the future holding here?
Right now, we're able to, our fermentation capacity, we have 22 fermenters. We can ferment 12 lagers and 12 ales at a time. That chamber is going to be our new ale chamber. We're going to go up to 42 fermenters. We'll be able to, that chamber will hold 28 fermenters. So we're going from 12 to 28 ales that we'll be able to brew it or ferment at a time.
Awesome, bigger and better.
It's more.
More. Well, yeah, better.
We don't go big. We go more. We go more.
More. Excellent.
So we'll probably have a lot more different beer styles. We've brewed over 70 beer styles in the first 2 years since we've opened. We'd like to be able to brew more of those, and possibly add a few more taps in the tap room. Maybe have 25 or 30 taps.
Very nice. So what has been the most memorable moment in the couple years since you've been open for Rapp Brewing?
Oh gosh, there's so many of them. That would be, yeah, last March at the Tampa Bay Beer Week at the Brewers Ball. Yeah, when we received 3 gold medals, 2 silvers, and a bronze. #1 beer in the state for Agoza, #2 beer in the state for our Munich Dunkel, and then best small brewery in the state. That was just phenomenal.
Excellent.
Phenomenal. First day we opened.
Right.
Going from a home brewer to professional, and the first day we opened, actually selling my beer. The first time I ever sold my beer was a very strange feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It was strange, yeah.
from home brewing. Now, the title of our show is BeerSnobs, and I've had a lot of friends who say, "Oh, I don't like beer. I don't like beer." In fact, there was a gentleman in here a few minutes ago that said I didn't like beer until I had the chocolate peanut butter porter or chocolate peanut butter stout, and then I realized, oh, I do like beer. So this show, I'm also designing toward future beer snobs. Why would you? What's your opinion on that? Coming from a girl who drank strictly a national brand of beer to myself going into this wonderful adventure of these artisan beers. What would you recommend to somebody who's who's a future beer snob?
I go in and try it. I have so many people come in here that say they don't like beer. My response is, you just haven't found the beer you like yet. Almost 9 out of 10 times when someone comes in with a spouse or a friend that's not been exposed to craft beer and say they don't like beer, because we have such a variety, 90% of the time we find a beer that they go, I didn't know beer could be like this.
Right, right.
And we've got another person that's on the road to becoming a craft, person that enjoys craft beer.
Excellent. Greg, thank you so much.
Sure,
I
my pleasure.
appreciate your time,
Sure.
and we'll be seeing much more, I'm sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.